You might assume I'm missing something if you look at my life before I met my wife. People believed that the characters and cast of Noah Brown's Alaskan reality TV show were appropriate. They were unaware that conflicts were occurring both in private and in public. However, some believed it was all prearranged. In this video, we'll discuss Noah Brown's 5 least favorite Alaskan Bush people and the reasons behind his dislike for them. 5th, the missing younger sister, Rain Brown. Rain Brown is Noah Brown's younger sister. Originally known as Merry Christmas Catherine Raindrop Brown, she was the eccentric artist of the Alaskan Bush People. She was creative, compassionate, and genuine, which is why her followers adored her. However, according to Noah Brown, her presumed innocence passed away a long time ago. And all that's left is someone he believes to be utterly insane, deadly, and cunning. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. And hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Now, back to the topic. What we were talking about was, my heart is truly broken by it. But when he speaks, Noah is no longer depressed. In his words, he expresses extreme anger, disdain, and even betrayal. After seeing what has transpired between these two, you may see why. Let's revisit the initial instance of trouble. Rain's emotions were never quite fully developed. The youngest member of the Brown family was this individual. She appeared to lose her temper frequently after the death of their father, Billy Brown. Noah noticed some unsettling changes in Rain, despite the fact that he had previously distanced himself from the drama in his family in order to protect Rain and their children. According to Noah, Rain didn't simply experience melancholy or depression. At some point she began abusing narcotics. This has nothing to do with occasionally drinking or smoking a little marijuana. According to Noah, she drank a lot of alcohol, used cocaine and meth, and exhibited odd behaviors that were no longer consistent with mental stress. In the documents he submitted for a protective order, Noah clearly depicted a sister who was consumed by addiction and gloom. He added that she was placing other individuals in grave danger of harm in addition to harming herself. Remember, this was not a family feud about inheritance or land. Noah went to court to obtain a court order to keep Rain away from his immediate family because he was worried about his impact. He didn't want to take any chances, so he didn't want her anywhere close to them. He claimed that she continued to show there without permission, cause issues, threaten them, and even tamper with their mother's medication. Yes, the same mother with health issues who is allegedly being manipulated by a daughter who is losing her authority. Rain's husband, Josiah Lorton, became entangled in the situation as well. Because he believed that the two were armed, violent, and unpredictable, Noah was concerned about his family's protection. It was more than erratic feelings. It might have been against the law. When Noah posted some subdued yet powerful statements online, many realized that this relationship was over. He wasn't evasive, and unlike many others, he didn't skirt the truth by using ambiguous metaphors or problematic Bible passages. None of this was depicted on the show, despite his statement that he's done. He doesn't want anything to do with her. He doesn't trust her. He's had enough. It was still replaced by Rain, the soulful, spiritual girl who painted rocks and loved horses. However, Noah's tale is considerably more terrifying when not shown on television. A woman who has disregarded all of the principles her family claimed to uphold. He describes her as a danger. This is made worse by the hypocrisy. Rain has always been the first to publish posts on healing and growth, spiritual quotes, and images filled with love. Her brother is attempting to have a wall erected in court to separate her from his wife and kids in the interim. It's filthy and disheartening to me. It's odd that a family that claimed to be traditional and pious could be so chaotic. What happened to Rain, Noah's adorable younger sister, who is said to be his greatest fear? Some followers claim that Rain only needs assistance and not harsh words, and that Noah is being overly cruel. Until you recall that he did make an effort to assist. They all did. This is Noah's first altercation with his brothers and his first court appearance. It tells it all. Noah no longer refers to the Rain family in online Q&As, social media posts, or interviews after all this time. He speaks in a chilly tone. When discussing her, he does so as if she were their mother's health. She is accused of randomly visiting residences and refusing to acknowledge the harm she is causing. These are not the behaviors of a depressed person. They are unmistakable indicators that someone is losing their way and dragging others along with her. Nor is it just her word versus Noah's. Many of his claims are supported by witnesses, screenshots, and police documents. There have been multiple incidents with the police. It's more than just familial issues. Behind the scenes, a once-loved TV family is dealing with a serious domestic crisis. I wish I could protect her from herself, but I have to protect my family first. Noah's statement regarding Rain was the most agonizing. It's not just sad, it's awful. Now, we are left with the fragments of a sibling relationship that ended tragically. Even more concerning is the length of time they attempted to conceal it by claiming that they were attempting to maintain the family's unity and survive in the wilderness. Noah no longer wants Rain Brown, the former sweetheart of the Brown children, in his life. Wait until you hear who comes next if you thought that was the worst thing that could happen. Fourth, the mother who allowed the mayhem to occur, Amy Brown. Let's now discuss Amy Brown, the mother, the iron-willed matriarch, the pillar of strength, and the one who reportedly kept the Brown family united over difficult winters, bushfires, and cancer treatments. But when you take away the quiet demeanor and pious facade that TV producers have meticulously constructed, you're left with someone who is completely different, at least in Noah's opinion. On the inside, she was a lady who smiled on camera while her family broke down, but on the outside, she was a liar and an enabler. The thing that sickens Noah the most is this. Remember that Noah supported Amy during her battle with stage 4 lung cancer. He took a stance, handed up certain items, and flew back. At one point, he even gave up living alone to assist in caring for her. He had a strong, sincere, and unwavering affection for his mother at the moment. But something was different. It was a terrible incident. Noah claims that Amy stopped supporting him and began supporting Rain when he began to draw attention to dysfunction, particularly Rain's alleged drug usage and odd behavior. The mother had previously prayed for healing and serenity, but she now remained silent. Rain allegedly brushed the issue off, offered justifications, and advised Noah not to overreact when he requested a restraining order against her. She didn't cope with her daughter's downward spiral or speak the truth. According to reports, Amy was furious with her son for attempting to protect his family, not with her daughter for threatening them. Really, what could be worse than that? What sort of mother chooses to gaslight her child while he cries and pleads for help? In several posts and discussions, Noah has alluded to Amy's attempts to undermine him in addition to ignoring his concerns. She reportedly brought Rain over even after the restraining order drama began, knowing full well that it would put Noah's wife and children in risk and cause stress. Take a time to think about it. Your son has a responsibility to protect his wife, kids, and home. And rather than taking charge of the mayhem, you, his mother, decide to let it happen. It's more than just lying. That's a really terrible way to offend someone. Very difficult. The fans were astonished when the allegations were revealed. Noah claimed that Amy's mental and behavioral well-being had begun to deteriorate. He said that she was not taking her prescribed medications on a regular basis. She consistently displayed symptoms of mental instability. Furthermore, Noah stated that she was unquestionably high on Rain, which raises the possibility that she was either using narcotics in the house or was indifferent to it. Once fighting to save his mother, Noah now publicly expresses his belief that his mother is either being deceived or is assisting her daughter in descending into a downward spiral. It appears like understanding everything would be challenging. It breaks my heart and is just horrible. Here's the catch, though. Amy made no objections to it. She made no attempt to refute, clarify, or explain what Noah had stated. She ceased speaking. Not even a message or a blog post. Not a single word. Her quiet also spoke a lot. There are still some Amy supporters. She is described by others around her as depressed, ill, and perplexed. However, being depressed or ill is not a justification for allowing inappropriate behavior to occur. Noah has purchased everything. He's been there and witnessed it, so he knows. Away from the Discovery Channel's mellow soundtrack and seamless edits that concealed the mayhem. Let's take a moment to discuss how people perceive her. Some supporters of the Alaskan Bush People believe that Amy Brown is flawless and nearly faultless. The family's strong-willed spiritual leader and warrior mother. However, it's becoming more difficult to reconcile that image with the one Noah presents as more family strife emerges. He sees her as someone who prefers some individuals above others, avoids accepting responsibility, and would rather cling to a dashed hope than confront the unpleasant reality she helped create. She didn't simply allow misbehavior to escalate. She deliberately kept it safe. The one son who dared to tell everyone about it was shut off by her actions. The fact that Noah never attempted to harm the family was amusing. He wanted to hold on to it. In order for people to begin healing immediately, he needed them to see the reality. However, he turned against them when he refused to remain silent. There is a term for mothers like Amy in these types of households. The term is helper. Furthermore, the worst form of supporter isn't someone who doesn't care about the issue. The worst form of enabler is someone who speaks the truth and is then told they are the issue because they did so. This is because they sow discord. That if you would just stop talking, everything would be alright. But Noah didn't remain silent. That was the last time he played the game. The same woman who bid him good night among the stars in Alaska has now disregarded him, cut him off, and mistreated him as a result. Noah lists Amy as one of the 5 individuals he despises the most because of this. Not that he didn't care for her. He had a deep love for her, and when love is shattered, it disgusts you. Noah had given up trying to make things better. He has had enough of hurting others, lying, and waiting for an apology that never came. He's got a new family now. Regarding his spouse, children, and the tranquility they have achieved away from the cameras and the unpleasant recollections of Browntown, he has established a firm boundary to maintain harmony. On the opposite side lies Amy. Third, Josiah Lorton, the stranger who entered and fueled the flames. A stranger who enters a dysfunctional family and makes things seem much worse is something that annoys Noah Brown more than a terrible brother. He believed Josiah Lorton had done just that. Many viewers of Alaskan Bush People were unaware of Josiah's background. Unnoticed by the cameras, he appeared as Rain Brown's enigmatic spouse. He was a character who was largely invisible. However, outside of the Discovery Channel writing rooms, Josiah became something far worse in Noah's life. That was the last person he ever wanted close to his family. This individual was never supposed to be a member of this family, according to Noah. Let's identify it. Josiah married more than just a member of the Brown family. Josiah married into the turmoil, and Noah claims that rather than assisting Rain in regaining control over her mental health or in overcoming the drug issues he had been berating her for years, he turned into her accomplice, protector, and enabler. As soon as Josiah entered the picture, everything got worse. According to Noah, Josiah did not simply overlook Rain's poor behavior. In addition to being disruptive, he is alleged to have been a heavy user of alcohol and narcotics, particularly meth. Furthermore, these are not mere assertions. These are the claims that result in police reports, court inquiries, and welfare checks. In a desperate attempt to save himself, his children, and his mother, Noah initiated all of these actions. Assume that you have previously severed your relationship with a sibling because she attempts to manipulate you and threatens you. Impetuous, purportedly drug-abusing, and stubborn when they first met. The part where Noah said that Josiah was obstructing Noah's ailing mother Amy's access to medical care was among the scariest. It was said that Josiah assisted Rain in appropriately attending to Amy's medical needs and prescriptions. Noah alerted the authorities about Josiah's appearance and odd conduct around the house, and he requested a welfare check on Amy because he was terrified and upset. Noah was furious only for that. He was truly irritated by Josiah's involvement in family matters that weren't his concern. Josiah, who was obviously not a member of the family, began to dictate how Rain spoke to the other members of the family by acting as a gatekeeper, listening in on conversations, and even threatening them, as Noah has stated numerous times. Families frequently struggle with their in-laws, particularly in stressful environments like this one. This isn't simply a strange Thanksgiving dinner scenario, though. According to Noah, this man poses an immediate and obvious risk to his mother, his kids, and the remnants of the Brown legacy. Josiah will always be viewed by Noah as just a stranger wearing a ring. He has never considered himself a member of the family. Simply said, he entered a burning house and is a hazardous force. Instead of reaching for a hose, he struck another match. You have a certain level of revulsion when someone enters your life and makes things worse. Josiah Lorton earned such name in Noah's universe. Although he isn't as well known, he played a significant role in Noah's eventual departure. Bear Brown, the brother who pretends to be loyal but doesn't actually believe it, comes in second. The King of Extreme, Bear Brown, is a member of the Brown family who enjoys discussing loyalty, family, and remaining united in both good and difficult times. He is always snarling about devotion, honor, and survival while rushing through the woods nude. But when the playing is removed, what is his true nature? Noah Brown sees it as nothing more than a loud, hollow echo from someone who has failed at the exact things he claims to advocate. Bear has devoted a significant portion of his life to portraying himself as the courageous guardian of the Brown name. The brother with a strong will and a life force. He has a deep affection for his family. But Bear's mask also fell off when the public's perception of the Brown family began to shift. The brother who always made an effort to avoid trouble, Noah, has had enough. True enough, Noah is utterly repulsed. They felt awful about Bear's behavior and inaction, his lack of morality, and his inability to speak up when it mattered. A closer examination reveals that Bear did not intervene or confront Rain while she was losing her mind due to what Noah described as a deadly combination of booze, amphetamine, and unconsciousness. He failed to watch out for their mother. Bear ignored it because he believed Noah was exaggerating and that it was simply a family dispute. Noah was unhappy over more than just missed birthdays and hurtful texts. He was warning the family about their insane behavior, obtaining protective orders, and begging them to wake up before something horrible occurred. Bear simply shifted to Rain's side. At that point, Noah realized Bear's statements about prioritizing family were merely empty rhetoric. Because if Bear had been truly faithful, he would have gone farther. He would have spoken the hard words. Instead of fighting over who was stronger, he would have fought for what was right. Bear had a very good possibility of being the one who united everyone, heard both perspectives, and assisted in correcting the situation. However, he chose to lie instead. He wore spectacles. Although he chose to be pleasant on television, they were having a heated argument behind the scenes. The fact that this is the same Bear Brown who has a history of disorder, legal issues, violent outbursts, and arguments with his ex-girlfriend Raven should not be forgotten. His cabin logs were stacked higher than the man's copious police records. Noah never screamed for attention or struck anyone. He received nothing in return and merely desired to be held accountable. What hurts the most is the sense of being abandoned. According to Noah, Bear used to be his brother and best friend, with whom he could discuss anything. Noah would mutter to Bear about how awful his family's job was over the campfire. Bear retreated and asserted that nothing was happening when it came time to express those things aloud. Bear's use of the fans was the worst part. By posting ambiguous comments about how true family never leaves and family is forever, he turned people's perceptions against them. No one took action to stop Amy from rotting in silence while Rain and Josiah continued to fall apart. In private, Noah has made remarks about Bear that he will never make in public. He simply misses his brother terribly. He's not afraid. The sibling who used to fight alongside him rather than against him. But according to Noah, that brother is no longer there. He was gone for a while. Bear has come to represent everything that Noah dislikes about his family. They refused to stand up for what was right, even if it hurt, because they were scared and denied it. As Bear continues to act as though nothing is wrong, the distance between them widens. At this moment, Bear remains buddies with Noah. He destroyed hope. How do you handle a former love interest who is now contributing to the issue? You relax. You go. You maintain harmony. That's exactly what Noah is doing. Noah's face tightens whenever someone in public inquires about Bear. When he is upset, he always responds in the same icy manner. It was stated, he made his choice, and that choice wasn't family. Matt Brown is the best. More hurt than himself was the brother who passed away. This is the final name on Noah Brown's list. That one probably hurts the most. It was because the fall was so quiet, not because the betrayal was so loud. The eldest of the Brown children was Matt Brown. He was the forerunner and was supposed to guide, guard, and lead by example. He became a mistake, a deception, an addict, and a ghost in Noah's eyes. To make matters worse, he abandoned his family and disappeared, only to return years later and pretend that he still merited their confidence. Only Matt Brown has written about Matt's lengthy and difficult fall in such detail. In interviews, Instagram postings, and YouTube videos, he has discussed his anguish and discussed mental illness, narcotics, and his road to recovery. Noah sees something quite different from what fans see, a man attempting to turn his life around. Someone who destroyed things, abandoned them, and now claims to have improved things without ever putting things right. Matt suffered greatly as a result of his drug and alcohol abuse. They nearly disbanded the family. It became increasingly obvious that he was absent as the seasons of Alaskan Bush People progressed. One moment he was on the television grinning, and the next he was gone. Going to treatment, reverting to previous behaviors, and then returning to treatment. Noah and his family were often forced to cope with the psychological fallout. Matt passed out from excessive drinking. Noah also claims to have stolen from family members, lied to their parents numerous times, and cut himself off from anyone who attempted to speak the truth. While Matt's bravery in sharing his rehabilitation on the internet was admirable, Noah was witnessing a sibling who never expressed regret for the anxiety he had caused his family. It's typically not just upsetting, but downright tragic, when your older brother, whom you look up to and depend on, turns out to be the family's biggest problem. Noah has spoken. It was bitter, yet he talked clearly and gently. Matt wasn't physically there during those years, but his feelings were. Matt was accusing his family of being nasty, poisonous, and false at one time while also attempting to improve. Yes, it was truly cruel. Matt has frequently claimed that his brothers and parents made him appear like the evil kid, gaslight him, and showed little concern for his mental health. Noah's perspective is quite straightforward. Since no one wants to throw a party to welcome Matt back, he believes that he is a man who caused a mess, left it, and now pretends that nothing happened. It's a reality that Noah doesn't think poorly of Matt since he was harmed. He only hates him because he refused to take responsibility for his actions, because he wanted unconditional love without being truthful about his actions, and because, after years of absence, he returned empty-handed and demanded a place at the table he had left. Matt is on the list because of this. It was because he disappointed his brother the most, not because he was the worst user. When Matt's family needed a male, he failed to appear. He returned when they were at peace without him and insisted on being viewed as a victim. Noah wasn't even waiting for someone to apologize, he was done enduring it. He decided that he would no longer accept calls, direct messages, or old desperate texts. Additionally, Noah believes Matt Brown is no longer present. What wasn't captured on camera? The public saw the Brown family as a loving and strong family, but behind the scenes, things weren't always so ideal. Many individuals were unaware of the family's numerous problems and unhealthy relationships. Only the portion that was shown to everyone was known to them. The father, Bill Brown, was in command of the household. He made the majority of the decisions and was in charge of nearly everything. His children and wife were not always able to express themselves or make their own choices. His leadership style frequently felt more like power than love. His children struggled to become independent adults as a result. Nevertheless, they followed their father's instructions to the letter. Despite being adults, many of his children and grandkids continued to behave as though they were still children and obeyed his laws. The eldest boy, Matt Brown, struggled greatly. He went to rehab after having numerous drinking issues. He said that throughout his absence, his family did not provide him with enough support. Additionally, He said that his father gave little to no money to the children and retained the money they earned from the TV show. As a result, Matt was unhappy and felt excluded. It's been years since he lived with the family. When he claimed that family members had mistreated him, the situation worsened. The other boys were also having issues. For instance, Bear Brown and his ex-wife Raven had a horrible marriage. They split up and had a lot of arguments. Some even interpreted Bear's bizarre behavior as an indication that he is dealing with serious personal issues. Rain and Birdie are shy and gentle girls. Following the death of their father, they appeared rather depressed. Rain has discussed her mental health and admitted to getting disoriented occasionally. Birdie keeps to herself and is silent. She doesn't talk to many people and usually keeps things to herself. Fans have questioned whether they are also experiencing emotional difficulties as a result of their silence. The distance between the Brown family and other individuals was great. Some now believe that keeping them alone was also a means of keeping the children in line, even though at first it appeared like a bold and enjoyable decision. They rarely interacted with others or attended school like other children. This made it difficult for them to make their own decisions or learn new things. The Brown family may have appeared close in content on television, but they were actually hurt and in control. The narrative of this family demonstrates that even when everything appears to be going well on the surface, there may be issues going on in the background. To be good, a family must have freedom, love, and respect. Unfortunately, the Browns may have overlooked a few of these. What are your thoughts on Noah Brown's motivations? To view more videos like this, kindly click like, leave a review, and follow us.